Okay, I think everyone should be able to see me. Hi, Digital Fracture. It's going well. It's going well. Super excited. Been waiting for this. Been waiting so long for this. Yeah. By the way, I love my. Let me just show it to people. See me? I'm really happy with my thumbnail for this. Let me see if I can find it to show. You know, I love putting those frogs in my streams on the thumbnails. Let me just show you what I've got. Now, I didn't draw this. This is one I found. I cleaned it up a little bit. Hi, Pluzzing. Thank you, Digital Fracture. Hi, Pluzzing. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back. We had a fun session last night, didn't we? Okay, let's see if I can show this to you. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this is, you like that? I love this little guy. He's just like so happy. Hi, Eddie Valros. Good to see you. Good to see you. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. So I am excited. I am as excited as this frog for sure. Because, you know, 22 inches is my favorite size for a pen display. Thank you, Jaruka Skaru. Appreciate it. And thanks for joining us today. I am doing well. I am doing very well. He's so happy and he's blushing. And, you know, we'll talk all about this tablet. I watched all the reviews. I shared some things I'm going to be looking for in this unboxing and testing. And as always, ask questions. Tell me if you want me to try something. Okay. And I'll give you, my thoughts. Now, I will just say one more thing. Yes, right, another new tablet. Yeah, oh, hi. Yes, I will absolutely make sure English subtitles are in the archive. If they're missing, just let me know. I forgot the reason why they weren't showing before, but it should be corrected now. Or we're definitely going to see about that parallax. This is the big topic. Okay. Let me turn on my overhead here. Oh, what am I saying? I got to turn on the music too. There we go. Good music. I experimented with a little bit of country music, and I experimented with some kind of synthwave, but it was too distracting. This generic restaurant jazz is what we're all about. Oh, let me just show you the box. What am I doing here? So this follows Huion's trend of, I know you can't see my face, but it follows Huion's trend of pretty simple boxes. Now, I like to see displays with really interesting boxes with artwork, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, let me get this thing. And let's show you some, hopefully is the overhead camera on? Let's double check here. Looks like it's actually, is it on? It is not on. Let's turn it on. Okay, yeah, I think it is. It's one of these devices. Sometimes I don't know if I've turned it on or off. Okay, let's change it again. Okay, it is on. I can see it moving. And as a reminder, everyone, if you have questions, we do have a Discord. Sometimes I know it might be easier. Oh, Cami Luna. I haven't seen Cami Luna in a while. I've heard that there's no touch on the 22 version. That's correct. There is no touch. Love to see Cami Luna. I was just wondering why I haven't seen much of her. And Cami Luna, just so everyone knows, she is, I'm not going to, I don't want to give personal details of, but she's actually in a very close city to me. So I'm always like, hey, where is she? because she's, you know, like I think 45-minute drive away from where I am. I wish it had touch, and this is a topic. Okay, where's my camera? Is it there? Is it there? Oh, that's not quite what I wanted. Actually, it's not too bad from what I wanted. Let's now. Okay, so what are we noticing here? We are noticing Pentec 4.0. That's what it says there. I think the autofocus is a bit off. I think I turned it off last night. You just got back for NYC and oh, sorry, Camelina. Sorry to hear you got COVID. I got it one time, and then since then it's been. There we go. Pentec 4.0. We expected that. QHD resolution. So that's what do they call this? 2560 by 1440. Pretty good resolution. Their last consumer pen display, the Kamvas 22, Kamvas 22 Plus, it was just full HD, which, trust me, is not enough. Atmosphere lighting. We're gonna see. I'm not in a particularly dark room. Where's my? Can I not do that? Oh, okay. You can't see it. Atmosphere lighting. So there is some lighting. You can actually see it in the little what the Apu is looking at. Now the reviews have said it's not very bright, so I'm not sure if it'll show up for my eyes, but it'll probably show up on camera more than it'll show up on my eyes because just the way the camera's set up. And I generally am in a dark room, so I think I'll probably see it a bit more. So we'll see. We'll see. Though it may be hard to tell in this specific environment. Okay, over here, it says cover glass fully upgraded. Well, even though I'm not a fan of the language that's being used here, let me turn on auto exposure. There we go. That should be a little bit easier now for us. The issue that I found in the Kamvas Pro 19 Gen 2 and the Kamvas Pro 24 Gen 3 was it added some softness to the pixels. Now, I'm okay with it. I was probably more okay with it with the Kamvas Pro 19. I think the 24 Gen 3, because of its lower pixels per inch, it seemed like a little softer. But some people, no matter what it is, they don't like the softness. Now, I never use the word blurry. It's softer. So that's something we're going to check into. Let's see. Bane 13 Play says, I slightly regret my 22 Plus I got 2 years ago. Yeah, I wish it was QHD. Yes, QHD would have been... QHD and 22 inches works really good, I think. We're going to verify that. Color gamut coverage. sRGB, Adobe RGB, Display P3. It's actually, okay, it's good. For some reason in my head, I didn't expect this Adobe RGB and Display P3. They've added a black and white mode. Can you see that? I don't know if I care about that, but maybe some people do. And they say it's factory color calibrated out of the box. Sorry, you have to rotate your head to read some of this. Okay, let's do some unpacking. Second time with COVID, Camille. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Let's see. What's a better way of saying this? Okay, this is good. Let me move my water out of the way. Let me make sure there's no cables. Yesterday we did, for those of you who missed it, we did a stream where we looked at the Cintiq 21UX that was released in 2005. Okay. Yeah, monochrome mode. That's weird. But hey, maybe some people want it. Okay. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. I am just clumsily opening the box. Nothing too special. Now, this is something I wish my camera was a bit better at. The highlights are sometimes not as nice as I expect. So let's see if I can... There we go. That's a decent balance. Okay, what am I doing here? By the way, when I picked up this box, I felt it was a little lighter than I expected. So that's good. That's good. Let's open this thing up. I'm not expecting surprises. And then put it here. Okay. And can I zoom out more? Because I think you probably want to see more. That's pretty good. Yeah. Nicely packed in. Let me move this foam out of the way. We get a drawing glove. You know, I should put it on and do the Brad Colbo glove dance. We get this Huion pen color display calibration report. Everyone always wants me to say, they ask me, what's the delta E? And delta E is reported as 0.90, which I think I've been told anything less than 2 is good. I don't know how to read these, so if anyone wants me to like take a photo of it and keep it somewhere, let me know. That's actually a good policy. I should start doing that. Okay, and then we get this little sheet of paper. You know, I do wish this paper was not this color, this cardboard color, because it makes it a little hard to read. You know, I'd like a much lighter color, or the inverse, a really dark color with white text. But it shows you what's in the box, all the cables. There's a power cable and 3 other cables. You get the pen stand and some kind of thing here. What's this at? Quick start guide. Okay. And it shows you 2 diagrams of how to connect the tablet, and I will talk about both because it is important. And then yeah, it's pretty basic. Nothing really surprising here. Okay. And then you would like to use that black and white mode for value study? That makes sense. Okay. And then we have the tablet itself, which it's not heavy. It's probably, you know, I wish these tablets were lighter, but it's not heavy. It's not heavy. Compare, you know, it's what you'd expect for something this size. I will say, let's see. The stand is attached by, I can tell just by what's in here. So let's remove this shroud of, this tablet shroud. That's what I call these. Tablet shrouds. I think it's nice when they pre-attach the stand, because that's the last thing you need to do is like take a screwdriver and put a stand in. So you get a stand. It's a pretty basic Huion stand. Vesa, you know, it's a Vesa stand. And it looks like it's all metal, so it's strong. It's not a weak stand. And when you take it out like this, okay, so I'm looking at it upside down, so it's actually like this. Okay. Let me keep it over here. Carefully. Let me just show you what's in the box here. We have PW600 pen. No surprises here. I'm going to just keep it over here. We get the pen. What do you call this? Okay, we get this thing, which looks slightly new in terms of Huion's pen holders. We don't get a case like with the Pro models, but I'm trying to unscrew it, but it's I'm not really good at unscrewing these cases. Ugh. Okay, so my first. Okay, there's supposed to be like 10, I guess, nibs in there. We'll not worry about that right now. There's I think this is the cleaning cloth microfiber. This is one part of the power cable. Here's the power adapter. Power adapter is not very big, by the way, which is interesting. I'll keep that over here. We get a USB-C to USB-A cable. Now this is, notice it has a white thing here, which means this is just for data, not for a lot of power or anything, just a little bit of data. We get a little, what do you call this, a hex wrench. I guess that's for the stand. Just keep it in the box. We get an HDMI cable. Now I remember from the specs, this is like a 1.8 meter or 1.5 meter cable. So not super long. I'm gonna have to, well, we will try the HDMI connection and we'll try a USB-C connection. We'll try them both. There's a little pen clip to put, so you can attach the pen to the top of the tablet. I'll keep that on the side here because I do want to try that. HDMI cable. And finally we get a USB to USB-C cable. I assume this is a full featured cable, meaning it will supply video and data. I guess it probably even supplies power, but not enough to power the tablet. Because these, when you start getting above 16 inches, pen displays just require too much power, okay? It's pretty rare. Even 19 inches is pretty rare you'll get enough power through a USB-C cable. And it's not just the cable, it's the port on your computer. They just don't, they're not that powerful typically. Okay, cables are here. I don't really need the box anymore, so I'm just gonna... I will say, in Huion's credit here, it is nicely packed and easily pull. You know, I can pull it out easy without like cutting through paper or plastic. So that's really nice. Okay, let us put this on the side here. So, kind of like that scene in Lion King. I'm gonna take the tablet, and I gotta have the Lion King music, right? And like, here you go. You can't see my face, but here you go. I present to you this tablet. Okay. Okay. Actually, it's probably better if I do it like this. Someone start humming the Lion theme, theme, please. You know what the scene I'm talking about, right? The tablet is like dark gray on the back and the sides. There is looks like some kind of status light and an on-off button here. This is where that little clip goes for the pen, I guess. And I gotta be careful, I don't want to scratch that glass. The cables go here. Now there's a little, what do you call this? Cover, which it just comes on and off. You don't have to screw it in, you can. I didn't see where the screws were, so, but you don't, and there what you see are the ports, okay? So you can probably just, they're just 3 ports, okay? There's a USB-C, HDMI, and power, and they've got a little icon next to each one, so that's nice. Though, you know, I just wish these tablets also came with a display port, because most GPUs have display ports, then they have HDMIs, okay? So, let's continue. Okay, so, oh, one more thing. And I've seen this trend with, I think XP Pen may have started this, or maybe Sense Labs. There are little plastic, or rubber, I should say, feet here, okay? Which is really nice because it makes it so the edge isn't touching the desk. Okay. It is not heavy. It is not heavy. I would say if you're used to the Kamvas Pro 19, you will probably feel like, oh, it's about this. Okay, first reaction. I know, it's a black slab of glass. It looks good. Take a look at the anti-glare. You see more glare than I do. It is very mute. It is very muted to my eyes, right? Digital fracture, what are you, sorry, I'm trying to understand what you're referring to when you say it was something I argued years ago when I was helping them. Curious. I like the 22-inch because I think it has the best balance among large pens. I agree. I agree. It's just, it's easy to get out of the way. And that's something I really look forward, I look toward in a pen display is how easily can I just like move it. And this is not hard to move. Now, having said that, you would at the very least have 2 cables coming out of this thing, maybe 3. So that adds a little bit to the inelegance of just moving it out of the way, but it's not too bad. But right now, I can just tell you, it looks good. I mean, I know it's a black sheet of glass. It just looks good, okay? Everything about, I would say, how can I say? I know the back is plastic. One of the metrics I use when I open up these tablets, I think, would you think it was a Pro tablet? The answer is yeah. I mean, just on the look of it, yes. It is clean. The back looks very nice, right? And it looks very professional. It looks very professional. Would you confuse this for a Wacom? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the way it looks, absolutely. There's nothing about this which screams cheap. Nothing about this screams consumer either, just from as the physical device, okay? So I think we should recognize Huion and XP Pen and Sense Labs. They've been doing a good job of that. Let's see, Digital Fracture says, when they first started here in the US, they asked for feedback by many of us in the art community. The big one I gave them was we need display ports. I use yeah, we need display ports. Now they're 24, their Kamvas Pro 24 Gen 3 has that. It has HDMI and DisplayPort, right? And I don't think they should consider DisplayPort a pro feature. It's a normal person feature because, trust me, I help so many people answer questions on Reddit. And one of the big questions is, I don't have an HDMI port. What do I do? Right? I'm like, hey, they have to get a DisplayPort HDMI adapter. And I'm like, just cut that out, guys. In fact, I think there's a decent case, honestly, to be made that they should have both ports on the tablet. There's a decent case that it can be argued that they shouldn't have an HDMI cable, but they should have a DisplayPort cable. Because the odds are that's what you're going to have to use with your desktop. Those are the odds, I believe. That's also the cable they don't normally have. And they probably already have HDMI cables. You see? That's why this is my theory. That's my theory. You agree with me, Digital Fracture? Okay. So the first test is, I am just going to connect this to power. Okay? So again, the power adapter is really small, which I don't know if I should read anything into that. I was surprised. The other power adapters on these displays tend to be pretty large, kind of big bricks. So I don't know if you can tell anything because of the size of the power adapter. They could just, that's Jauki, that's a good idea too. They could just include an adapter. But my belief, the reason I think the cable idea is better is this. I believe every adapter is a risk. I'm not saying it's going to catch on fire or anything. I'm just saying every adapter is it's an extra component that can go wrong. Okay? So I always tell people it's better if you just have one cable and not an adapter. Right? Now, I use adapters all the time, but I do think they represent like just an extra unnecessary possibility of something going wrong. Okay. Okay, so I've got to be careful here. Hang on a second. I need more music in my ears. There we go. It shouldn't affect your volume. It just should affect my ears. What's playing right now always reminds me of like The Simpsons. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna connect power over here. I've got a little power strip. Okay. Yes, Nick. This is the thing with the ambient LEDs on the back, LEDs on the back, and the QH. That's exactly what it is. And I will, when we get to the LED testing, I will turn off this big light, key light, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay. Okay. Power. Okay, did you see it? It blinked on for a second. Okay. Digital Fracture says, I'm just hoping you have a win here. I'm currently holding an L with my Huion Inspire 2 L. You're not enjoying the Inspire 2 L, Digital Fracture? There's something wrong with it? Or you're not satisfied, maybe? Okay, next cable. Give me a sec, I gotta think about this one. Okay, since I'm gonna try HDMI first, okay? Just to convince us all it will work. So first let me get the USB. Rain says, looks good, reminds me of the Cintiq 2025 designs, maybe that clean look. Yeah, yes, you're exactly right. It does look like that. If the Huion logo wasn't here, I'd probably think this was the one of the Wacom's, absolutely. What is the Wacom 24-inch, the Cintiq 2025? It's QHD as well, right? Is that or 2.5K? There's a huge argument about what should account for 2.5K. There's that cable here. That's the power cable. Whoops, it slipped on me. Okay, this is USB-C to USB-A. Because we're going to try HDMI for the video signal. So let's plug this in. You know, I've come to hate 3-in-1 cables. So I actually am okay with having 3 cables coming out of this thing. And then we need an HDMI cable. And I do have one here. It's actually connected to my computer with an adapter, a USB-C to HDMI adapter. It worked last night with the Cintiq 21UX, the DTZ 2100. Let's see, Yvonne, I'll read your comments a second, because it's one of my favorite topics. Okay. Let me take a look what Yvonne is saying here. Yvonne says, I think it's time for PCs to move to USB-C with DisplayPort and have all pen display be USB-C Pro or not. Sadly not. Yeah. You know, I'll be honest. I was, in my naive thinking, I thought computers would go toward, I thought 2 things. I'll start with the first thing. I thought computers would abandon HDMI, and they kind of have. Like, they always have one HDMI port, but the GPUs always have like 3 display ports, so that's in progress. I thought by this time, GPUs would have gone all the way to USB-C, but they just don't, right? In a way, I can't blame them, because definitely people are confused by USB-C ports, because so many USB-C cables do not meet the requirements, and you can't tell unless you're carefully buying them. Okay. Now, when I plugged in the thing here, where's the power button here? Okay. I heard a beep, so the computer does know it's on. I mean, it does know it's there. Let's see. Watch, it'll say no signal. Oh, it worked. It worked. Now remember, by the way, the pen is not going to work right now because I have the Wacom driver installed. So I'm just reacting to you with what I see. First of all, colors look fine. It doesn't look especially saturated, but I haven't changed any settings. I think what you see on the screen is pretty close to what I see. I'm moving the screen left and right. Colors don't shift, doesn't get darker, so good viewing angles, okay? Now let's just take a look at how sharp it is. This is the big test, right? This is the big test. Oh, to verify sharpness, I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm going to close a bunch of windows, and I'm gonna make sure I'm at 100%. Now you need to do this on Windows if you're gonna do this test, because it's the most reliable way of, because the Mac OS blurs things out. Okay, so I'm doing it 100% zoom, or, there's two questions. How much pixelization and how, what's the right word? Soft it is. Give me a second. You want me to be careful, right? Sorry, you're just going to see my head for a while. I honestly don't think it looks soft. Let me try another zoom. I'm going to make from 100% to 150, which is what's recommended for this display. Okay, 150, and remember now, Windows is anti-aliasing text. What I'm looking at is the time display on the bottom right corner. So in your mind, you have to deal with like, oh, the text is, in my mind, it is, so there's two causes of softness. One is having low pixels per inch. So this isn't a 4K display. So inherently, it'll be not quite as sharp as a 4K display. And the second is the glass doing some weird stuff, okay? And I noticed, the first thing I noticed was the Kamvas Pro 19 and the Kamvas Pro 24 Gen 3. Right now, I would say does not seem soft to me as those things. It seems just normal, okay? So that's good news. That was my number one fear, okay? We'll do some other testing, but yeah, it does not seem soft. Let's see, I'm gonna take, a lot of comments came in. It is an issue that's carried over through the years. I had an H610 Pro. This was like a launch tablet at the time. Jumpy pen, jumpy pressure. Okay. They had all these issues years ago and never addressed them, and it's really frustrating. I get it. That's one reason Digital Fracture, I try to draw attention to issues like that in my channel. Because, actually, let me just back up for a second. The reason I spend so much time talking about diagonal wobble and all pressure issues is that unless we as a community know about these issues and talk about them a lot, there's no pressure on manufacturers to do anything about them. At least if I start criticizing and saying, oh, this pen does this, and all these little measurements happen, people start reading those reviews or the streams, and they start asking, and they start, they'll start evaluating brands with hopefully those topics. So I hope to drive things forward that way. Another reason I like this model is that the cable comes out from the near center of the housing. Past models have yeah, I agree with you. I never liked it when the cables are coming like, you can see the cables come out from the sides. That's like the Kamvas Pro 19, or from the top, which is really inelegant. Here, it's good. It's good, and I do like, I haven't put it back on yet, but the cable cover to help protect the cables. So that's really, that's what I call thoughtful design, okay? Another one says, I'd rather not get a tablet where you need an adapter in case they ever discontinue it, make expensive to replace. Yeah, I agree. That's another great reason why, I try to, I think it's better not to have to deal with adapters. Now, most of the adapters you need these days are not proprietary. You can just buy them on wherever. But still, we have seen some cases where they're proprietary cables, proprietary adapters, and you don't want that. You don't want any part of that. Urea says, there were some Radeon RX 7900, 7900 XTX, had USB-C, but dropped it. Yeah, it's pretty rare. I only know of one other GPU. I can't even remember which one that had it. Nick says, this is non-pro. That's correct. It is not pro. It is a non-pro tablet. What is the difference in Huion between Kamvas and Pro models? Non-4K screen, different pens. There are, okay, so we'll go through everything one by one. It seems to be that, at least this is a trend that seems to be true. Pro pen displays seem to be 4K, and non-pro seem to be, now they're getting from Full HD to QHD. Okay, so 2560 by 1440. That's one thing. Number two, different pens. For Huion, they're using the same technology, the Pentec 4.0, which is good. So you're getting a great drawing experience on both. But the Pro pens, the PW600, for example, as opposed to the PW600L, which is what I have, The 600, the Pro versions of the Pentec 4.0 pens have erasers. So that's a difference. Not a major difference, I think, because they still have the same great drawing experience. The other thing we're starting to see is that these Pro pen displays, I think this is a good thing, even though I don't use the feature, they have touch. They tend to have touch now, right? So you're seeing those are the ways Pro tablets are starting to be distinguished from non-Pro tablets. Huzzing says, wait, I just realized this is not the Pro one. That's right, it is not the Pro one. They don't have a Pro 22, by the way. Only Wacom has a Pro 22, and sorry, XP Pen has the Artist Pro 22 Gen 2. Jaugi, yeah, you're right. Resolution affects how pixelated it is, and surface texture affects how blurry the pixel is. The reason I wanted to talk about that was some people, they don't know what to look for when they talk about soft or blurry. And so what they think is the glass is actually just the pixels, the pixelation, right? So you're right. Yes, I did understand you correctly. Okay. So yeah, softness doesn't seem to be an issue here, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let me take, where's my water? Oh, there's more comments. Ooh. Euchre says, I don't see a point in more resolution and more pressure levels. Does the new pen have more than I think you say more than enough. Yeah, it's a 16,000 pressure level pen, but you only need 2,000. So there's no point in more pressure levels. I think these days people are starting to expect a QHD, meaning 2.5K resolution. But I don't know if everyone needs a 4K. I'm totally fine with this resolution, by the way. Okay. To do anything, I'm going to need to install the Huion driver. So you need to give me a minute, because I need to uninstall the Wacom driver for this. So let's take care of that business. Okay, you're not going to be able to see what I'm seeing for a minute, so just bear with me. And where's my keyboard? It disappeared. Oh, it's in front of me. Okay. Screen looks good. I like it. I can just tell how comfortable I am with different sizes, and I like this. I like this. Okay, where is my add remove programs? Let's get rid of Wacom. Let's uninstall this thing, whatever it is. I uninstalled an old Wacom driver last night, so it uninstalled older components, which I need to deal with. Okay, I'm uninstalling that. Completed. And then uninstall this. A Wacom driver. Yes, I'm sure. It's gonna require reboot too. Nick says, I love erasers, but not a reason to call it Pro. Touch is non-Pro too. Useless toy if you ask me. Well, some people really need it, right? Even I sometimes use touch, but it's pretty rare. But when it's there, it's very useful. Now, by the way, I think people's opinions of touch may change. I hear rumors that next year, later this year, MacBooks are gonna support touch natively. Maybe. Okay, let's reboot this guy. Restart. Okay, it's restarting. After Wacom Cintiq 2025, Huion is reducing the gap between Pro and non-Pro models too. Yeah, yeah, they are. Look, I think it was in Brad's video on this tablet. A new non-Pro Huion tablet today, or maybe XP Pen even, but definitely Huion. This one, you would have called this a Pro tablet 2 years ago. You would have called this a Pro tablet 3 years ago, right? I think he said 3. I will say even 2 years ago, you would have called this a Pro tablet. That's how good it is. I mean, I'm talking about the screen, just like what it looks like to my eyes and the quality of it and the feature set. We'll start drawing. We'll see if we can find other things. Euchre says, at this point, I'm pretty fine with my current Kamvas 22 Plus. If I buy another drawing tablet, it would probably be a more portable one like the new Wacom one. You mean I think you're talking about the moving pad. Whoops, something happened. Something disconnected. Don't know what happened there. Okay, we'll try it. If anything's wrong with the audio, just let me know. Something just kind of odd happened for some unknown reason. My audio disconnected my ears. Okay, I think I'm back. Sometimes I hear a beep and I'm like, you know, it's danger signal. Something weird has happened. Okay, let's log in here. Ivan, good question. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, if macOS supported touch, but only for their MacBook Pros and their monitors, but for nobody else. It would not surprise me if they did that at all. Oh, the Wacom. Oh, got it. You meant the Wacom one. If Huion did a nice thing like the moving pad at a more aggressive price, it would be interesting, yes. There's space for it, but the one thing I'll say this is, and I'm just saying it in a nice way, for Huion and XP Pen, I gotta be honest with you, if you're gonna make an Android tablet and you're not gonna upgrade the OS to give us, you know, I'm just making up a number here. People will say I need more or less. If you're not gonna promise 5 years of Android updates, why would you get the tablet? Right? Because no one wants to be, you know, so you got to do something, security updates or something. So right now they're like, well, yeah, no updates, right? And well, I don't think it's a good idea. Samsung, I think, supports it like for 7 years of security updates. So that's something that, you know, I understand is a cost for them, but like, it really diminishes my trust in the device if there's not updates. Nothing like using, you know, years old version of Android OS that maybe is missing features that you need for your tablet. Okay, it is rebooted, and let me just do a little bit of display mapping here to see if I can get this right. So you can see and I can see in a nice way. Okay, I'm gonna duplicate the Huion to another display in front of me, okay? So keep changes. You can't see it yet. And let me switch it to use the Huion's native. Okay. So by the way, when I'm projecting something, like, let me just show you what I mean. When I project this to you, you're gonna be seeing this at, like, it's not gonna be as crisp as what I see, because this is being shown here. Actually, it might be crisp, we'll see. We'll see in the recording. But if it does look not quite as crisp, remember it's because of my hardware, not the tablet, okay? Let's see, Pluzzing says, my other dislike that kind of tablet is specs, but maybe, yeah, the spec's important. Okay, so now I'm looking at I'm just looking at the UI now. I'm just looking and like, okay, looks cool. Oh, I need to install the Huion driver, of course. So let's go to Huion. And let's go try to find a driver. Okay, it's not too exciting, so I'm not gonna bother showing this to you. Click on support, download center, pen display. I don't like their UI on this page for selecting a driver, I'll tell you that. It's so like, it is so hard to get to what I want to. Okay, so they have several, I'm gonna show this to you though. They have several drivers. Now I don't recommend people install the version 20 driver, because lots of people have problems with it. So I use but let's see what else they have. I might be forced to, by the way. I might be forced to. Download. I'm gonna do it I use the V15 driver, but for my older Huion tablets, which I think is liable, but I may need this for the LED control. Okay, so let's just go ahead and install that. It's downloading. I'm downloading. Cami Luna says the drivers are the only thing I hate about Huion. They worked very well for me, but some people have real problems. I probably do have version 15. I do have version 15 archived somewhere, Cami Luna, but I do want to use the V20 because I haven't. It's a relatively new version. To be fair, I've not tried a newer version of it. And number two, it's going to have the control for the LED, which probably is not in the V15 drivers. Okay, I'll just go ahead and show people what the install is looking like. I agree. Notice that the UI does not understand I'm scaled in Windows, so it's very tiny. It's another kind of like UX bug in their driver. Start now. Hopefully I don't have to reboot, but it may tell me I need to. Hello. Okay, here it is. It says discover Huion tablet. Virtual keyboard settings. Okay, don't care about that right now. Press key setting, which means express keys. Device backup, application settings, device settings. It's actually very pretty. Kamvas 22 Gen 3, great. Oh, that's the very first thing. This tab, which has no name, they call this lamp effect. Okay, so this is okay. I can still see it, but I think you're gonna have problems. I can change the color. Let's try it. Now, my eyes show it more like what I'm supposed to be seeing. You see it as really bright on camera. It's not, or very light, almost white. It's not that way at all. It actually looks good. I mean, it does look good. But it's not as blown out as the camera makes it look. So I like it. Okay, I'm gonna do a little test here. Yeah, this new V20 looks good. LED, it brings that meme with Steve Carroll to me. Said, "No God, please." I think it's a cool idea. I want more. Okay, now this is gonna look weird. Okay, so you gotta bear with me. Okay. Okay, I'm turning off the light. There's still light from the monitors. I just want to see if I can see the light. I'll tell you right now. There's light from my monitor. You can see my face is illuminated. So it's somewhat dark here. This tablet's in front of me, and I'm gonna go through the lighting. I'm gonna see if I can just see the lighting. Let me put something behind it. I'm gonna put an iPad behind the monitor, right? And I'm gonna see if I even notice the light. It's very subtle. I'm clicking the different colors. It's very subtle. I think you'd have to be in a darker room to notice this. Okay? Like even now, like I probably would not even guess it's on. Oh, there's a brightness control. Let me go brighter. Okay, there's more light now. But there's definitely more light, but I still think it's awfully subtle. It is awfully subtle. Let me turn it off. Yeah, it's subtle. And I'm in a relatively dark environment. I think if my room was dark, really dark, or there wasn't a monitor in front of me, it would be more visible. Later on, when I'm actually using this, I'll try it in a slightly different room to see if I can notice the light. So it's nice. I don't think it's going to be a killer feature. Yes, Jay, you can adjust the brightness. It goes from dark to bright, and you can just turn it off as well. Okay. I'm going to turn on the breathing mode to see what happens. Okay. So you'll see it here. Again, remember, you're going to see the light is brighter than, reality, washed out. Breathing mode, fast. Now it's like pulsing. Do you see that? Okay, so that's interesting. It just pulses the light. Now, that's not what let me slow it down. That's the slowest setting of breathing mode. God damn. Okay, this surprises me a little bit. I thought breathing would rainbow color, right? Like move through the rainbow. It doesn't do that. It just goes, the bright, so I think they should add that rainbow effect because that's the only meaningful, I think it's a more meaningful thing to do. It's a bit gimmicky, sure, but fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I would like the light to be brighter. I would like the light to be brighter because I can imagine a room, it would be very helpful. Sometimes there's not enough light for me to see things on my desk in certain rooms. I just like to work really dark, so that would be cool. I'm gonna change it to a kind of a fuchsia color, and that's a lamp effect, okay? And I'm gonna put my light back on so I can see normal now. Which color improves your line quality the most? The fuchsia, of course. Does that stay behind the tablet? Yeah, it doesn't bleed out in front at all. Like, if you put something to the side, you'll see a little bit of it, or behind, like my iPad stand. But, yes, it is stupid implementation of ambient lighting. Philips was doing it in their TVs, but even there was... I don't mind it. I think it's a nice... adds a little extra flavor. Because lots of people do like to draw in the dark. Just remember, RGB makes you draw faster in gamer mode. True. All true. Okay, let's take a look at the driver. The next tab is... these have... Okay, look at this. This tab actually, if you hover, it has the name. It says device. This one says workspace. This one says virtual keyboard setting. This one says the pen. Interesting. Now, let's click here. So right now, let me take the pen. I'll show you what's happening. It's kind of funny, actually. It's mapped to my other display. It's not mapped to itself. So we'll fix that. Okay. PW600 pens are pretty good. So oops, I'm clicking on it. I can't use the pen. I have to use the mouse for this. I'm going to do this. Okay, now the pen is in the right place. Okay. This is the virtual keyboard settings. I'm not going to do anything here. Then the PWs. Oh, this looks so pretty, doesn't it? Windows Ink. I'm going to leave that on. What can I do here? If I click the buttons here. If I click here, I'm going to click on here. The lowest button is set to E. I don't like that. I usually set my lowest thing to mouse right click. I set the other one to mouse like left double click. I don't know why it's not giving me that. Left double click, there we go. And then this one, I actually don't like using the third button on any pen, so I'm gonna just disable that one, okay? No function. This is nice UI, I have to give them credit. Pressure curve, pretty normal. There's no dead zone, it's good. Pressure test, we'll do a little bit of a pressure test here. No, it's fine. Advanced setup. Now, Huion does this. I know, so it's kind of weird. This is maximum force. The force to reach maximum pressure. I'm going to change it to light. And if you click that, what it effectively does is move this top thing to the left, but they hide that, so it's confusing. They should just add, instead of doing this maximum force thing, they should just add a node here, like everyone else does, and when they do this UI, and use that instead. Let's see. I guess I added it because I thought Huion was also a plane model, not as bad as I thought. If you want to record what's sent to the tablet while changing the color in the drivers, maybe something can be put. Okay. Okay. I didn't know it was possible, Cube, to record what's sent to the tablet. But that's a discovery for me. Hi, Saint Angel. Thanks for joining us. 7 years OS Android update. That's what we need, Kaiser. How light is it? Wacom limit it to 50%. Jackie, are you talking about the... it's hard to tell. I mean, because it doesn't show you what happens. If I set it to light, I'll tell you. Let me see if it's making a difference in the tester. It's just hard to tell what. I'd have to measure, but it definitely decreases the max pressure quite a bit. Right? If I had to guess, I would say half, 50%. Okay? You'll notice it. You'll definitely notice it. But I like a large maximum pressure. And I would guess this one has 400 to maybe even 500 gram force max pressure is what I guess. IAF seems pretty normal for PW600, which should be like 2 gram force, 3 gram force. What was his other setting here? Contact click. When enabled, press the button and touch the screen with the tip for the button to take effect. What? Press the pen button. Oh, I guess it means that it'll only draw. We'll test it out later. It sounds like I'll be able to draw with only if I press a button. So we'll see if that is what it does later. Okay, so overall pretty good. No complaints here. I mean, this is really nice looking. I will say that. I will say that, absolutely. Okay, let's do some testing. Keyboards with RGB, mice, mouse, pads with RGB, headsets. Someone must stop it. And for those who love LEDs, there's a place. AliExpress, you can buy 20 milliliter roll for 20. Well, that is a good point, actually. That is a good point. I had not thought about that. Okay, so let's do some testing. My first test is gonna be with, I'll use Krita for this since it's standard. Actually, before I get to Krita, let's do the overall pen tracking test, which is, is the pen like accurately tracked? And I think for this one, you may want to see the camera. It's not going to be totally clear, you know, because I have to look really close with my eyes. Where the heck? Okay, here we go. But I'll try to give you some sense of what's going on. Digital fracture, I think so. We'll test it out. The only catch is, what will it do if I bring in a pen with an eraser? Like, will I be able to do anything with the eraser? We'll see. I see St. Angel's asking the same question. So we'll try that out next, okay? Oops, all right. Okay, so I'm zooming in quite a bit. And I'm putting the pen 90 degrees to the surface. And you can't, very close to 90 degrees. It's accurate. The tip of the pen is right underneath the tip, the actual nib, okay? In the corner, pretty darn accurate. All the way to the very edge, almost. That's very accurate, actually. Yeah, that's good. Slight deviation, a deflection about 1 millimeter to the right on the left edge when you get about 3 millimeters from the corner. Normal, totally normal. Really, it's very accurate all over the place, okay? So I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing here. Now, what about pen tilt compensation? Okay, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough. Okay? So for this, I need to go manual focus. There's no way this is gonna work. Too blurry, hang on. quite there. Okay, this looks good enough. Okay. Okay, tilt to the right. Tilt compensation is great. Tilt north, pretty good. Remember, we're not testing if the pen's accurate. We're testing how much it deviates from whatever position it's tracking. So don't look at this and say, oh, the pen isn't, the pointer isn't underneath the tip. That's not what we're testing. We're testing if the calculated position shifts. Okay. Digital fracture, but the MacBook Neo only has 8 gigs of RAM. That's good. Look at that. West, there is, I'm not seeing any deflection west as I tilt west. Same down. So far in the 4 cardinal directions, pretty good. Where a lot of tablets struggle though is when I'm doing a mix of north and east and southeast, etc. So let's try that. Okay, you can't see. This is tough to see. So I'm testing. Oh, very good. Very good. Right? There's very little shift when I tilt northeast. What about southeast? Because some tablets are good in some directions, not in others. So, very good, I think. Yeah, I would say this is excellent pen tilt compensation. I am very happy with this. Very happy with this. This is something XP Pen needs to improve at. Wacom has been good at this for quite a while. Though, as we saw last night, the DTZ 2100, 20-year, that was a tablet from 21 years ago, did not have great tilt compensation, right? So even Wacom took some time to improve. But Huion is doing they've been doing a good job recently with their tablets, and this, again, does a fantastic job. XP Pen still struggles with this. They're not completely bad, they're just not as consistent. So I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, I think so, Digital Fracture. I think it's looking pretty good. This will be one of the better tablets. That's my feeling right now. As someone who only uses a MacBook for social media, this is Cami Luna. Media consumption, the speakers are good. I agree with that. And Discord, I think a MacBook Neo would be perfect for me. I could believe that, yeah. I will agree with you. As much as I was like, oh, 8 gigs, I actually have been, as I work, or whatever I do, I'm often these days putting I play music on my iPad, like I watch a YouTube video. I'm just for music. And sometimes, I just don't really like typing on the iPad. And I was having that very same idea, Camilina, which is like, should I get the Neo for that use case of just like playing music, YouTubing, and writing a quick email? Because I'm not really gonna work with it, right? So that is a consideration for me. And I'm looking forward to something that's quiet, no noise, no heat, kind of. I think it could work well for me. Okay, now let's talk about parallax. Last night we saw that the Wacom DTZ 2100 had crazy amounts of parallax. It's something you would find very unusual in a modern tablet. Let's take a look at parallax here. Now I'm expecting it to be good. So now this is going to look unusual because I have to put my head down and put my eye right up to the tablet. So I apologize if it looks strange and you don't see anything interesting. Or it looks weird. Here we go. It looks like I'm hugging the tablet. I'm hugging the tablet. Okay, let's take a look. I'm just doing this so you can see what I do. The trick here is carefully seeing. You have to, by the way, parallax is tricky to see because you have to realize when there's a separation of the pointer from the pen, is it the glass or is it tracking accuracy? Okay. And one more reminder, all pen displays, all devices with glass have parallax. Anytime a tablet manufacturer tells you no parallax, they are lying. That cannot be true. That cannot be true. That would only be true if there was some like really crazy new display panel technology where no glass was needed, and there is nothing like that. The only technology I know of that gives you zero parallax is like ink on paper, right? But if there's glass there, you got parallax. Okay. My feeling is this: the parallax is. Let me look at it from different angles here. It's not super low like an iPad, but it's on the low end. If you go looking for it, like you put your eye close to the monitor, you'll see it. Where the heck are my glasses? This is classic. Did I ever tell you the time I put my glasses in the refrigerator and I couldn't find them for a while? I kissed my Kamvas Pro 19 goodnight before bed. Well, on that note, you'd be surprised how many times I've gone to sleep with and woken up with my Moving Pad Pro 14. A lot. Let's see. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. Pluzzing said the Neo is definitely not for me since I like to do everything on my laptop. Yeah, that makes sense. Cami says that's, I think, referring to my talking about the Neo. I'm using it, my MacBook Air right now to watch a stream. Yeah, so the Neo would be good for that. Watching movies. Hug your tablet. That's right, closer. No judging. We all love our tablets. I kissed my Kamvas Pro 19 goodnight before bed. The Samsung Note series with the stylus is shockingly accurate. I've never tried those. Yeah, maybe one day, but we'd have to have special tech for that. I've also forgotten my glasses up here. That has happened many times. Yeah, I think it's going to be decades. Parallax never bothered me with the Cintiq 16 on the non-laminate screen until I used a tablet with laminate screen. Then it was suddenly... Well, to be honest, another thing I've noticed is even today, non-laminate screens have gotten better too. Parallax in general has gotten pretty good. And now it stands out when you get a bad parallax. Almost everyone has good parallax. Some people have great parallax. There's just a few bad cases remaining. I'm gonna look at this parallax. Okay, so that was me looking with my eyes like at a crazy angle. Now I'm gonna look at parallax from a normal angle, okay? And for this, I'm gonna zoom somehow. Just so you see a little bit of what my eyes see. Now, it's not gonna help you totally, but okay, I will tell you this. So the parallax, because it's fine, it's totally good, because at any normal viewing angle, you don't notice it, right? You'd have to go like this. You'd have to try to find it. So I'm gonna say this is good parallax. Not the best I've ever seen, which is like the iPad, but good. Laminate screens really does that. When you get used to one, it's a one-way street. Wacom now released EVA edition of Moving Pad Pro 14 with Android version 15 and Evangelion print on the back of the tablet. It costs $300. It costs more? Are you sure, Camille, it costs more? I thought it was the same cost. I mean, that would be awful if it cost more. Right, Nick. It hasn't been a problem for me in practice for any modern tablet for a while. What's the best parallax I've ever seen? Is it still the Moving 13? Yeah, the two best that I can recall for parallax are the Moving, not Moving Pad, 13, and the iPad Pro or something. I don't know which one I had. I can't remember off the top of my head about the Moving Pad Pro 14. I think it's probably very good, but I'm not sure. I think it was very good. I'm not sure if I'd rank it quite as good as an iPad or the Moving 13. I'd have to check them side by side. Oh, Camille, it is more. It does cost more. That's surprising. Maybe I shouldn't be surprised. Euchre says one of the main problems standalone tablets like Moving Pad have is that since they have the specs, the RAM will have is since they have specs, the RAM stupidity will jack price. Well, that's true. That's true. Do I think this device is better than the original than the XP Pen 22? It's a little too early to say, and also there's two parts to this answer. There's the XP Pen 22 Plus, which is definitely better than the Kamvas 22, the old one. Not this almost certainly is better than the XP Pen 22 Plus. Okay, the Artist 22 Plus. So I think that's, and there's more to verify, but I think it is better. Then there's the Artist Pro 22 Gen 2. This might be better than that one too. Because remember, we've got a new pen, a better pen than the X3 Pro pen from XP Pen. Okay, so this might actually be better. So parallax is fine. How much is this? Can someone remind me? Is this one 6? Actually, let's take a look. Hang on. I'm gonna open up Huion. Where's my keyboard? Oh, here it is. How much is this thing? Let's find out. Let's go to the store and find out. Shop now. $600. Terrific price, I think, by the way. Now let's try XP Pen Artist Pro 22 Gen 2. Okay. This right now is my top non-Wacom recommendation. $559. This is reduction from $700. Okay, so right now, at this very second, this tablet is easily at the same level as the Artist Pro 22 Gen 2. Costs, $40 more. At least than this reduced price here. If the pen we know is better, I have analyzed the pen. This pen is better, so that's a win for the Huion. If the rest of the tests tonight go well, I'd probably definitely recommend this tablet over the Artist Pro 22 Gen 2 for a 22-inch tablet. Okay. How does the parallax here compare to Pro models? What about Wacom? Any differences between Pro and non-Pro? Yvonne, I would have to, and I will do this when I write down my notes. I will actually test. I have the Wacom 22 actually on my other desk. So I'll actually compare the parallax between the two and write it down, okay? I will say, if there is a difference, it's so slight, I don't think anyone will even notice, to be honest. When do you think PW610 will be released on pen tablets? That is the question of the last year. I don't know, but I definitely hope it's this year. I definitely hope it's soon. Yeah, so this one's gonna be, so Rain, to your question, the price is comparable. Yuger says, am I the only one who cares about the screen being very resistant? You mean lots of texture? It's my favorite feature from Kamvas 22 Plus. What technology they use for Gen 3? I think you're talking about physical texture, right? So this is etched glass. There's no plastic film here. It's etched glass, anti-glare etched glass. In that case, let me just draw on it. It feels good. It feels good. I'll tell you something else. Now, this could be the nib that's in here. It's not a felt nib. It doesn't feel, sorry, how can I say this? It feels like there's a good texture, but it doesn't feel, you know when something feels scratchy and irritating? Because some tablets are like that. They're scratchy. They create sounds. This is quiet. And it has a good texture. I think anyone will be like, hey, I like this. Yeah, it's very pleasant. It's very pleasant. Sketchplay 1. What was good about the last generation of Kamvas 22 was the extra ports, USB and USB. You mean, yes. Yes. But the other thing about the Kamvas 22 was that the you had to get power, you had to use the 3-in-1 cable. Even just to get power. So you couldn't completely go to like it wasn't a question of going down to one cable. The question was like, if you had USB-C to your computer for video and data, which I think you could do, you still had to get another cable, use this very awkward 3-in-1 cable for power. I mean, it worked, but it's just not very elegant. X battery, Amashi says, I think the Huion will turn cheaper soon. That always happens. I wouldn't doubt it. Does it feel like there's a bit of space between the screen and the pen tip when drawing, or pretty natural? There is technically a little bit of space, but you won't see it. I mean, you'd have to. I don't know if you were there, PTTPR, but you'd have to like do this to the tablet to notice that space. You'd have to like look at it at this angle with the pen, like this. Like at a normal angle, you'll never notice that space. It's low. Is it the lowest I've ever seen? No, but I don't think it'll matter for vast majority of people. Hopefully XP has fixed the screen blackouts people are having. I haven't heard about that. Digital fracture. I envy people in the dollar zone. However, Huion provides Japanese people who are suffering from the weak yen at a price that is almost the same as the exchange. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we're gonna do the line wobble in a minute. Before we do the line wobble, let me do one more test. Then you go get the PW600 pen with the eraser and see what happens. Okay, like does it work? So give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. And now let's just take a look at the comments. We're going to check out some of these other PW600 pens. We'll do the line wobble. Euchre says, what I like about it is not necessarily the texture, but how resistant to scratch it is. Okay. Texture-wise, the Huion 1621 had better drawing feel because they had that film you said. Some people do like the feel of the film better. Thanks for joining us, Yvonne. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Cami Luna says, I've been drawing on smooth glass screens for so long that it took me a bit of time to get used to the Kamvas Pro 19 screen. Okay, interesting. Live Big, oh, he's talking to Euchre. Does it have, Euchre says, does it have better resolution than both the non-Pro 16 and the Kamvas 22 Plus? Okay, so I'm going to open up the Huion driver real quick. And we are going to verify. So notice when I hover here, what's it say? Oops, I'm hovering with the mouse. PW600L. Now the first question is, does the driver know you're using a different pen? Okay. So, let's pick one here. This is the PW600. Notice it has an eraser, okay? So I'm just gonna touch the driver. Oh, look at this. Did you see what happened? If I hover over here, it says PW600, and there's an X, I guess, to remove it. Let's remove it. There's no X here. Let's try that again. It came back, okay? Great, interesting approach. So it does know I'm touching it with the 600. And look, it lets me configure the eraser. That's what we wanted to know. Can you do anything with the eraser? And this is interesting. We've got to pay attention to this. I don't know if Wacom ever did this. I don't think so, but I'm seeing something here I think is new. And I'm very excited about this. Look how excited I am about this eraser. Because it does something erasers, as far as I can tell, have never done. Or drivers and erasers have never done. Take a look at this. So when I clicked on the eraser, I can use the eraser to switch screens. Meaning display toggle, right? I can change the screen to black and white. Right now it's set to being an eraser. Or I can have look at this. I can set the eraser to go to the next or previous song. Volume up, down. Okay, look, I know it's only going to do one thing, but this gives me ideas. Now, of course, now just one catch here. I'm doing this business, but remember, the eraser cannot be sensed this far. You have to be within 10 millimeters, okay? But that's okay. That's okay. Because there's no battery, right? So, but this is promising. Promising. Show hide something. You can show hide driver settings. Interesting. Precision mode. I don't think I've ever demoed precision mode. Maybe I'll demo it here. Okay. Virtual keyboard. Run a program. Can you imagine that? Tapping the eraser runs a program? Or do nothing. Okay. Let's test this theory out. Oh, you can have it do a key or a mouse button or something. You know what I want? I want make the eraser behave like the nib, meaning let me draw with the eraser. That's a feature request for Huion. And let me tell you why it's important. Because that would, if you ever mess up your pen here, right? Pressure's messed up. You could turn if they had this feature, you could use your eraser to draw. Look, I'm not saying you like it, but it's, as someone once said, it's better than a kick in the head. Okay. So, let's try. I'm going to do, so crazy. I love this. I love this. So, big look, I'm loving that Huion did this. I want to see more of this. Everyone should be doing this with their erasers. Okay, let's make it swap screens. Okay, I'm going to have the eraser There's tools, okay? So actually, let me do black and white. Okay, let's see what happens. Now, who knows? Maybe it's not hooked up. Maybe it's not gonna work. Let me show you the top-down view. Let's zoom out, because you want to see some color when this happens. Eraser for previous song. It's probably they just reuse some code, Nick. Okay, you see what happens, right? Okay, now watch. I'm gonna hit with the eraser. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Did I set it correctly? Well, it didn't do what it said it was gonna do, I'll tell you that. It didn't switch the screen. Yeah. Let me just test. I have another pen here somewhere. Yeah, didn't do that. Okay, so is it a bug? Who knows? So it didn't do black and white. Let's see if it switches the screen. Didn't do that either. Okay. Let's try something else. Let's try. So right now they're failing at this task. Let's try. Okay, let's try make it do a mouse button. Mouse left button. It's not doing that. Okay. So, am I not saving the set? Maybe I'm not saving the setting. Could that be it? Let's verify it. Okay, let's just try this again. Let's have it set to black and white mode, okay? So it says black and white, right? Let's see. Nothing is doing that. No matter where I click. So it's not doing that. Okay. So okay. Let's set it to its normal setting, which is, let's let it be an eraser. Okay. Let's go to Krita. Does it work in Krita? I don't use eraser, so I don't even know what's supposed to happen normally, to be quite honest. Okay, let's get some color here. Red. Let's get a bigger brush here, one you can see. 100 pixel brush. Okay, great. Okay, why don't I have pressure in Krita? Don't know. Figure that out. The eraser doesn't auto. I don't know if it's supposed to. I'm going to open up clip. Yeah, I'll check that out. Maybe I do have to close it. Okay, eraser is working automatically in clip. So it's not a problem of. Let's go back here. I'm going to try one more time. I'm going to click this to switch screen. Okay. It is set. See, it says switch screen. And let's see if it switches screen. It did. Oh, this time it worked. It worked. Why didn't it work before? You can't see it. Let me convince you this is actually doing what it said it's going to do. Don't you like my fancy setup? Okay. My hand is, well, it's a little awkward to see it here, but let's see if I can zoom out even more. The pointer's on that blue screen on the left, okay? Now watch what happens. Okay, so I'm moving here, right? But I move the eraser, I click down. Now the pointer is, I don't know if you can see it. It is actually underneath my pen now. So that worked. Something made that work. So that does work. Let's see if black and white works now. It is set to black and white. Let's try it out. That didn't seem to cause anything to happen. Let's try precision mode, which will sort of scale the behavior of the pointer. Okay, precision mode does work. That's interesting. That's not a feature that, oh, I gotta turn off precision mode. Haha. I'm gonna try volume up. Let's see what happens. Hey, see that? Volume is going, oh, you can't see it, I'm sorry. Volume is going up to 100%. Here, I'll change the volume to 15, watch this. Hey, look at that, the eraser is, it's moving the volume. Nick reveals interesting information. In Krita, you can configure the eraser to do whatever you want. You can paint with it. Okay. Well, thanks for your suggestion, Dave. It looks like I did have to close something for that effect to take place, that setting to take place. But this is cool. The only thing I'd say is here, I want it to be able to draw. So I'm gonna see if it'll work if I do this. Mouse left button, close it, mouse left button. Okay, will it do its thing? Oh, now it is actually, it is clicking like the mouse. Oh, hey, take a look at this. I'm drawing with the eraser. Isn't that wild? With pressure sensitivity, by the way. I know you don't believe me. Let's prove to you this is actually happening. Maybe this would be a better view. Okay. So, pen is upside down. Let me make the. Let me make this bigger. Yeah. See this? The brush is actually. This is the eraser, not the. The tip of the pen is up here. This is the eraser. So this is good. Nick, that's correct. There is no shortcut remote that comes with this. Euchre says, maybe black and white is an opacity eraser, not a grayscale screen filter. Interesting. I hadn't considered that. I don't know how that would work, though, if that was what it did, because the pen just supports opacity. It doesn't control what the app is doing with it. Yeah, it's a useful technique, because if you ever break your normal nib, you can like try this one. Okay, let me get some water, because I am parched now. Okay, so good news. You can use your other PW600 pens, which is great. And it will know about the eraser and take advantage of the eraser. So that's all good news. That's all good news for this tablet. And I like these new features. I'm going to suggest to Huion they actually have an actual drawing mode instead of, mouse left click. Because that's a very useful feature. It's a very useful feature. Again, I'm not saying you're going to like drawing with an eraser, but it's better than it's better than not being able to draw. Okay. Also, the reason that's useful is you can test it. Like if you're wondering, is there a problem with the app or the pen? You can try the eraser and see, oh, that actually works there, right? So you can debug issues. Okay, that's good. Now what we want to do is do a little bit of diagonal wobble testing. Okay, don't we? Isn't that what we want? Here it comes, folks. We're going to go to Krita for this. And I'm not sure why pressure wasn't working in Krita. It's a little confusing here. Oh, now it is. So maybe sometimes Krita just glitches, in my opinion. Virtual keyboard. That's a good question. Let's answer it. So let's go ahead and just set the eraser to the virtual keyboard. Let me get the pen. And so we can bring it up. Since there's no other way to bring it up because we don't have any remotes or anything. Virtual keyboard, the rectangular keyboard. Okay. So let's bring it up. There you go. See? Now, this is why okay, do you see it? Oh, sorry, you don't see it. You don't see it. My fault. So I set the eraser to bring up the virtual keyboard. So I am clicking down now. You can't see my hand, but I'm clicking with the eraser. The keyboard comes up. And then with the eraser, I can, you can configure this thing, right? So this might be useful. Now this is where I think touch is useful because I don't want touch to work normally, But if I bring up a virtual keyboard, I'd like the keyboard to be responsive to touch, right? That would be useful for me. Okay? And you can define this to be whatever you want, right? You can have multiple of them. If you go to the virtual keyboard setting here, you can see you can define multiple radial keyboards, horizontal, vertical lists, etc., etc., etc. Wacom has a very sophisticated system, so what you're seeing is these other apps, drivers. Huion is trying to do something similar that's fancy. As far as I know, if you break your sensor, both sides will stop working. I think they both use the same. Okay. I for sure can say that they use different sensors because I've taken apart a pen, a Wacom pen. Almost, if there's pressure sensitivity, especially, you can tell, and they both have the same construction. There's a coil with a ferrite rod, and effectively a nib. The nib is just different looking with the eraser, so it should still work. It should definitely still work. I don't think I've used the XP Pen virtual shortcut plugging, so I will try. Okay, let's do our line test now. So let's get to... I really need to make my own Credo brushes that... I don't know, Mir told me how to do it, but then I forgot. 5 pixels, no flow, no strength. Okay, what do? We draw lines at 45-degree angles, okay? Fast, slow, medium. You're gonna have to see me for this one. I think it's better if you see the screen and you see me drawing, but you just see what's on the screen, okay? So remember, I'm moving about 10 centimeters, okay? First 3 lines. Are slow. The first 3 lines are slow. I'm sort of counting 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. And there's no brush smoothing. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. Then we do faster, so it's just 2 seconds. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. These are still relatively slow strokes. And then we do what I call fast strokes, which is 1 second for 10 centimeters. 1, 1,000. 1, 1,000. What you want to see, you ideally see no wobble anywhere, but if you're going to see wobble, you want to see it only on very slow strokes. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Sorry, I did this in red. Normally I do it in black. So fast strokes, great. I don't see wobble. Medium strokes, I see just a tiny bit. Can you see it? And same, it's actually very little, and a little bit with slow strokes. Remember, this is one of those effects, if you look for it, you'll find it. But most people won't notice it. Like if you're drawing, look how fast you normally draw, right? You're just not gonna see it. So I think this is fine. I would like it to be better, of course. But the other thing is, pen displays typically, or they often have some diagonal wobble where pen tablets don't. And let me show you this, because again, I don't want to give you the wrong impression, because when I do these kind of measurements, it can come and be confusing, because you get too picky about drawing tablets if I show you this stuff. Okay, let's go here. Let's go find the Cintiq Pro 22, okay? Pro, which is a $3,000 tablet, and this one costs $600. So keep that in mind. Cintiq Pro 22. Let's take a look. Cintiq Pro 22. I think I have a sample here. Okay, take a look at this. You see that? You see about the same amount of diagonal wobble with Cintiq Pro 22, which is a $3,000 tablet. So it is common to see a little bit of diagonal wobble in pen displays, even on high-end ones. So this is fine. If Wacom can't get this perfectly eliminated, what hope? Why should anyone else, right? Again, in 2os Pro, you'll have they usually have less. On pen tablets in general, they have less diagonal wobble, okay? So I just want to let you know, even I can see it on these lines, I hope you can too. There's a little bit of wobble, right? Probably a little bit less than the Huion, but it's in the same ballpark. Okay. Okay, give me a second. Someone's on I got ping on Discord. Just want to make sure nothing is happening. Okay, great. So diagonal wobble is good. Let me, you know what? I did look at the, it's actually good if I open up these notes here. So I can see what else I want to cover. Tilt works great. Actually, let's do some basic drawing tests, okay? Excuse me. I'll pick this brush and just as a reminder, a reminder I do almost every time, I always recommend you in the driver, take a look at what your pressure curve is, okay? Different philosophies. For now, I'll just say leave this like this, corner to corner. And change your pressure curves as close as you can to the brush, okay? So for this one, I want size. See, it's got a weird pressure curve, so I'm gonna change it like this. In general, I think you should use pressure curves that are a little bit bent like this, okay? But right now, I'm not going to, because I want the raw behavior. But the raw behavior does ugly things in all pens. Oh, excellent. I'm drawing with very light pressure. I'm getting a really tiny stroke. It's very good. Okay, now I'm going thick to thin. Looking good. Very happy with it. Some of you are saying, oh, the stroke might not be perfect looking, but that's an artifact of the brush engine, okay? And me. But what I'm telling you is how much it's responding to my pressure. You might see the stroke, be like, hey, it looks like a big segmented. That's Krita. That's not the tablet. So fantastic drawing experience in terms of pressure. That was the PW600. I'm gonna go ahead and just use the pen that came with the tablet for a second. Again, fantastic at low pressure, not too noisy. I think you'll love drawing on this. Okay. It looks good. I know Tio does this thing where he tries to maintain the same pressure. I don't normally do that test, but it is easy to maintain the pressure, consistent line width, okay? Dots. Now, you're supposed to do a bunch of dots to see if anything's missed. Nothing is getting missed as far as I can tell, so that's fine. Everything looks good here. I've got no complaints. Right? I don't see anything unusual. Let's see. When I freehand stroke, of course, I never get perfect lines. My hands are quite shaky. But with ruler and Pro Pen 2 and 3 are super straight, so you can be sure you suck, not the pen. Thank you, Nick. Yuria says, interesting drawing there. What was I drawing? I don't even know. Let's take a look here at my notes on other tablets. The last tablet I really looked at was the Kamvas. Let's just do Kamvas 16 Gen 3. Let me see if there's anything I missed here in my... oh, not this one. Kamvas 13 Gen 3, I mean. I'm just looking notes here in case there are topics I want to talk about. So smooth pressure transition, very good here. I didn't find any artifacts at low pressure. That means if I draw at really low pressure, do I see anything weird? And some tablets, some pens are like this, but I don't see anything weird. No blobbiness. Wacom Pro Pen 2 has blobbiness. That's where you need to use pressure curves. Okay. I still think for this pen, a pressure curve like this is going to be better for more people. I'll just show you the effect. See, it's just much more controlled, right? Looking very good, I think. That kind of blobbiness, you see a little bit of that blobbiness here. But when you use the pressure curve here, a little bit of a one that goes to the right and up, just makes it easier to deal with low pressure stuff. Let's go back to the dock here. Diagonal wobble is very good. I would say it's it's on par with the Cintiq Pro 22, so that's fine. Tracking actually is very excellent, actually. Tilt compensation was excellent, not just very good, it was excellent here in this tablet. I'm looking at the notes of the Kamvas 13 Gen 3. Parallax was good, not super good, but good. Pointer lag is normal, right? So overall, good. TK953, yes, it is. I just tested that, as a matter of fact. They're fully compatible. Fully compatible. Tilt compensation, the wobble was fine. Oh, I didn't do the 90 hertz. Try that. Let's see. Where's my display settings? Let's go to Kamvas 22. I'm going to try 90 hertz. Now, you probably don't see it because the signal is getting to you at 60 hertz, but does it feel smoother? Yeah, it does. Like, you can't see it. You cannot see it. But I will tell you, when I'm dragging this window around, it is just smoother. Now that I said that, before I continue, I'm touching the screen. It's room temperature. Okay, let's figure out what the brightness is. Do I control the, how do I get to the OSD? I'm gonna hit the power button, hold it up. There's the OSD. Brightness is at 50. In fact, I was fine at 50. It's definitely brighter at 100, but you know, it's not a super bright monitor. I'm gonna turn up to 100 brightness, and I'm gonna just wait and see. Normally what happens is when you turn it up to high brightness, it might get just very slightly warmer. But now with 90 hertz, the question is, will it get noticeably warm? Some tablets do. It takes a little while for that to build up. I don't notice it right now, so we'll let it do its thing. But yeah, it's nice at 90 hertz. I will give people credit. It does look good. Display sharpness, this was good. I didn't see it soft. There's no touch on this tablet. Again, I'm looking at the Gen 13 Gen 3 notes, not the surface texture was good. I liked it. Oh, connections and cabling. I was connected to HDMI. Now the question is, will it work with USB-C? You still need a power cable, but let's try it out, okay? So this is gonna be interesting. So let's get this thing disconnected. One thing nice about the light on the back is it makes it easy to see the ports, right? So I'm going to disconnect HDMI. I'm going to disconnect the USB-C cable, which provides data. Then I'm going to find, I have a Thunderbolt cable somewhere. So right now only power is connected. Here's a Thunderbolt cable. This is, I believe, a Cable Matters cable. Thunderbolt 3 cable. I'll just assume the Huion one works. Okay. Now, the question is, will I get a signal? Now, this could be my computer's fault if it doesn't work, so. Now, can't be too crazy about this. Okay, I heard a beep. And I have to turn it's off, actually. Let me turn it on. Heard another beep. Okay, the thing is on. And what do I got here? We're back in business. So, Thunderbolt cable, so the USB-C, did power and does the pen work? It does. It's moving on another monitor. So let's go change the mapping. Oh, sorry. I got to use a different mouse here. Let's change the mapping. Where is the mapping? I want it here. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and let me do. So it's working. Can you see? Looking good. Does it affect my 90 hertz at all? Let's take a look. Advanced display. Does it affect that? I need display 3. I wish this said Kamvas 22 Gen 3. Yeah, I can do 90 hertz on USB-C as well. Keep the changes. Again, looks really good as I. So I'm trying to drag the windows here. You cannot see it exactly. And yeah, nice. Still haven't detected any heat buildup at 90 hertz and 100% brightness. Looks good. I'm liking this tablet. Okay, I'll tell you right now, this is a winner. This tablet is a winner, okay? I will go ahead and say my tests have been very successful on this tablet. And hang on a second. Let me duplicate the screen because my system's getting a little confused here. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but we'll get there. Duplicate on 1 and 3. Keep changes. Make sure the resolution's at the max. Keep changes. And let's make sure that display 3 is using 90 hertz. It is. Okay. And okay, so this is a winner. Okay, this Huion has a winner on their hands. And I'm going to draw the word winner, which I'm still going to, but I got to map the workspace correctly. There we go. Okay, now we can write the words winner. So Huion has, oh, look how confused Krita is. The pen is like, here you can see it. The pen is a little confused. This happens when you do things like this. When you change the mapping of your pen in the middle of having an app up, the apps can often get confused. So you just got to restart the app sometimes. It's just taking me all this effort just to write the word winner. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, we're almost there. I just need a bigger brush. Okay, I think this is probably good. Huion has a winner here. Okay? This is a good tablet. Okay? There's no doubt about that. Nick says, if I remember correctly from Tio's video, this thing had some terrible sensor button that you need to press and hold. It's normal. It's just a power button. It's just a power button. I'll just press it. And it brings up the, here, I'll just show it to you again so you can see it. It's just a normal power button. You just hold it down. And hold it down again to get rid of the OSD. Does night mode, what is night mode, Albert? Can you clarify? So, drawing experience, the DX is great. Okay? The pen, and that's a big part of the DX. Sorry, I'm just drawing a really crazy big brush, and it just looks weird. Let's switch to a more normal brush here. Okay? Because I'm being sloppy with the pressure. In fact, let me just go ahead and, so I'll rewrite these words here. Okay, this tablet is a winner. Okay, it is $600. So the price is good. Price is good, right? It's a lot of value for what you're getting. Okay, I think this sets a bar for the amount of value. I'll try that next album. Next thing, the drawing experience, the DX is great. Not just good, it's great. And a big part of the reason why it's great is that the pen is fantastic. It's the best non-Wacom pen in existence, the PW600 series, right? And can use the PW600 series with eraser. That's great. Eraser. I know I'm spelling it right. So that's really good. And I should have done it like this so you can see what I'm drawing, okay? The second thing that comes to my mind here is, so pen is good, the drawing experience is good, the price is good, the size is fantastic, okay? Now this is a personal thing, is great, okay? I think 22 inches gives you the large tablet feel without the large tablet price and without the large tablet weight and the large tablet sort of getting in your way, okay? I personally tell you, to me, if I had to pick between the KP19, okay, or the Kamvas 22 Gen 3, which one would I pick? Well, how much does the Kamvas Pro 19 cost? Let's double check here, okay? So this is $900, okay? Kamvas Pro 19 is $900. This is $600. Huh? Someone asked a question. X Battery Yamashi says, what does it need to be better than a Wacom tablet? The pen could have lower IAF. But Huion's close. I mean, they claim to be around 2 gram force. Wacom is like less than 1 gram force for the Pro Pen 2. Cube has measured the Pro Pen 3, and he says Pro Pen 3 is like, I don't know, 3 gram force. So they're basically there, okay? But technically that's something to be better at. Huion still has some driver bugs. So does Wacom, by the way. But there are a few driver issues they need to solve. I think it is important for them. The other thing they need is less about the tablet features, but like, you know, when we talk about Huion, you're going to talk to people who've had Huions from 10 years ago and people who bought a Huion today. And the ones they made 10 years ago aren't as high quality as the ones they make today. So you're going to get people saying, well, they're not reliable. And certain models are probably known for issues, but their newer models are pretty reliable. Okay, so I think they're there now for newer models. To be better than Wacom, they need to just continue this for a decade. Okay, to be honest, they've just got to work for decades. Okay, just yesterday I showed a Wacom tablet, and that was made in 2005, and I used it last night on the stream. So there's no Huion tablet that does that because they've not even been around as a company that long. I would like to see touch incorporated in the more tablets, but I think Huion has the same quality of touch as Wacom. However, Wacom does a better job, I think, getting touch to work on Mac OS. Huion tablets it's still kind of a beta feature. Okay. Wacom does have some technical edges, but those things, you have to be like an electrical engineer to know why they're better. Okay, like a normal person would never notice it. So, getting back to this topic for a second, the Kamvas Pro 19 versus the Kamvas 22 Gen 3. I think this is a better deal. They have the same drawing experience, is the same, right? It's equivalent. So this is, I should say less instead of greater than. Where's my undo here? I don't even know if there is an undo anymore. Is it? No, I guess not. So that's right. The pen is the same. I think the Kamvas 22 Gen 3 is the one to get right now. Okay. Barrel rotation. Thank you, Saint Angel. That is correct. Barrel rotation is another one. That is something that if Huion and XP Pen want to compete in Wacom land, they have to do that. Okay. They have to have a barrel rotation pen. I also think the Huion and XP Pen, they still have to deliver a better Android tablet. Else Villa says scratches. It's going to be a magnet with no etch class. No, this is etch class. This is etch class, and let's confirm that. But look, if you're paranoid about scratches, get a screen protector. There's no reason you can't put a screen protector on top of etch glass. Let's take a look. I want to make sure people notice that it is etch glass. Okay. Where is it? Yeah, canvas glass. This means etch glass. Okay. So this is an etch glass tablet. Older Huion tablets, like I think the Kamvas 22, you know, from 2001 or whatever. The Plus was etch glass, but I think the non-Plus had a anti-glare film. Okay. So yeah, I think this the Kamvas 22 Gen 3 is going to be. So okay, actually let's write it like this. What do we have for 22-inch tablets? What's our state of the market? Okay, so we have our top tier right now, which is Cintiq Pro 22. That's $3,000, by the way, 3K. We have the Artist Pro 22 Gen 2. This is XP Pen. That's, what do we say? Like $900 or $800 or something. And then we have the Kamvas 22 Gen 3, sorry. This is Huion. This is $600. Okay. This is the one to get, unless, and there are problems with the Cintiq Pro. It has a fan, so you actually hear the noise. I don't even put the Cintiq Pro 22 on 100% brightness because I hate that fan noise so much. Right? Yeah, the Huion Slate, live big. The Huion Slate is awful. It is awful, and it has a USI pen, which sucks. And you know, I was talking to somebody who sort of was doing some research about tablets and pens and things, and he's talked to different people in the industry, people in the USI, like the people who run USI, and others. And he told me something really interesting. He said the USI people think they've solved pens. And I said, that's stunning to hear, because my crowd on Drawing Tablet Discord server, every time USI comes up, we clown on them. We are like, that is the worst pen we've ever seen. Like, maybe they've made some improvements. I heard USI 2.0 or something, but like, we clown on them all the time. I did say to this person, look, maybe it works good for e-ink or something, but no one who's drawing likes USI pens. So to hear tell that USI people think they have solved pens is like, it's weird. I certainly don't think they've solved pens, right? They are not even made by Huion or use. Yeah, that's correct. I don't know who they makes them, but they definitely are not using Pentec 3.0. There was I heard rumor that there was supposed to be a new Huion device that did use Pentec 4.0, and not a rumor. They actually said that at CES earlier this year. But okay, getting back to this is a fantastic choice. So right now, for my recommendations, I will steer people towards this Kamvas 22 Gen 3, and then the Artist Pro, because I don't think the Cintiq Pro 22 is worth it. Right? Now, where you're gonna get things worth it are maybe the Cintiq. This line shouldn't be there. The Cintiq 24 and the 24 Touch, right? which are excellent, but much more expensive. So that's another option for you, right? That's another option in the same space, okay? But this is not $600 right here. This is much more expensive. Like this is like 1,000, I think 300 or something. So right now, this is the best tablet, I think. This is one of the best values on the market. I'm very happy with this. I'm very happy. I was so scared, I'll tell you. I was so scared I was going to see a fuzzy screen. I'm going to take a look at it one more time. Yeah, while I think it could be even crisper, I would not classify this as a soft screen. Okay? And yes, and 90 hertz, and 90 hertz. Honestly, I think this has a very good trajectory. Meaning, I think this will be a popular device at holiday buying season. Because it's so well priced. It is so well priced. Let's see. Live Big says, I have Cintiq Pro 22. It's so good. I still think it's one of the best tablets out there. I think Huion is good for people on a budget, but if you have cash, I'd buy a Cintiq. Okay, that's a totally valid thing. I mean, I've got a Cintiq Pro 22 right over there on the desk, so I get it. I get it. My only real complaint with the Cintiq Pro 22 is that the fan noise is irritating. The Cintiq Pro 22 is the best tablet of the tablets I'm talking about, but it's not a great choice for a lot of people, right? Whereas I think the Huion Kamvas 22 Gen 3 and the XP Pen Artist Pro 22 Gen 2 are great choices for people, for a lot of people. And I was doing some math here on like, if you were like more than a beginner and you wanted a digital art setup, here's a good setup for people. Okay, this is for like someone who's taking digital art more seriously. Like they're not just beginners, but like they want to get a little more serious. I think the combo of a Kamvas 22 Gen 3 plus a mini PC. I'll pick a specific one because I actually have it. The Minisforum UM870, which was going for less than 500, but because of RAM, now is like, I believe it's like, let's just say 650 right now, and this is 600, right? So basically for $1,200, you and this is like 32 gigs of RAM with a 1 terabyte SSD, right? You get a pretty good 2D digital art system for something that is going to cost you as much as the Cintiq 24 Touch, just the tablet. Okay. Yeah, it does get warm. Why does the Cintiq Pro 22 have a fan? Okay, here's my theory. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but the Wacom Cintiq Pros draw more power than other tablets. And I think their screens get brighter. And I think those two things are hand in hand. Now, it could be because of the digitizer as well. Maybe. But I think they need that power for that extra brightness. But when they do, they need the fans because they're brighter. And so that's what they do. And I'll admit it, the Cintiq Pro stays cool, right? Now, I don't use it at 120 hertz, to be fair, because that does definitely increase the fan speed, because it heats it up. But I think that's the reason. Now, their new Cintiq 24 and Cintiq 16 do not have fans, so that's great. They do heat up a little bit, but I think that's a good compromise. Okay? But I think that's because they have brighter screens. Now, why they need this, I don't know. Like what? It seems like a lot TVs don't have fans, so they have pretty bright screens. My iPad has a bright screen; it doesn't need a fan. My laptops have much brighter screens; they don't need fans. So what's the deal? I don't know. I'd agree with you, Nick, completely, except the fan kicks on loudly enough at 50% brightness at 60 hertz. Like, I would be totally fine if it was silent at 60 hertz at 50% brightness. It's not. Fan is on visibly there. At 100% brightness, 60 hertz, it's definitely irritating as hell. I can't even imagine how irritated I'd be at 120 hertz. It's been a long time since I've tried it. El Sevilla says, especially touch, if you disable it in Wacom, it's much cooler. Really? I hadn't even thought about that. Could that explain it? I'll do some experiments. Euchre says it's a 120 hertz screen too. Don't really see a point in that for non-gaming if you get extra noise. Yeah, it's I don't really need high refresh rates. I mean, it is nice now that I'm used to the Kamvas. The MoveInk Pad Pro, which has 120 hertz. I see the reason why people like it so much. Live Big says we definitely reached the point where Huion is able to produce a good product for pretty cheap. If cash tight, Huion is beyond awesome. About 6 years ago, I was scared of Huion. Yeah, and I think 6 years ago, there were good reasons to be, right? Because there's still, they were sorting things out and their tech wasn't as good. But tech has really improved, right? That being said, I will give everyone a tip, even if you're buying a Wacom. If you're buying a tablet, get a spare pen. I know, no one wants to spend another $50 or $60 on a pen, but I gotta tell you, the pen is the most fragile part of a tablet and the most likely thing to break. And actually having a second pen not only gives you backup, you can debug certain issues. Nick says IPS panels itself do not produce much heat even on 120 hertz, so I guess they must use some terrible thermal management. See, I would wonder how they accomplished the need to have fans. Like, I'm missing something, or they've made some engineering choice I cannot explain for thermal management, right? In a similar vein, I actually wonder why drawing pen displays are so thick. Like, my iPad is pretty thin. Lots of laptops or tablets are pretty thin, and yet drawing tablets seem to be really thick. And I'm like, why is that? I'm not trying to get them to be 6 millimeters or something. It's funny that they are thick, right? Like, what would be the purpose of that? There's got to be some benefit I'm not seeing. Maybe it just avoids having them flex in some weird way. But I'd like them to be way less and be thinner as well. So let's see, anything else I wanted to add here on this? Yeah, this is a great tablet. I don't think anyone's going to feel like this is a bad choice. Get a spare pen if you can. Let's see, Euchre says, yeah, it's so weird hearing it has fans, but I've only used full HD tablets. If I had to guess, if it's a 4K big screen, maybe it would make sense. Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, we see so many 4K screens that don't use fans, right? Live Big. Oh, this is interesting. I have taken a Huion Pro 24 4K apart, and there's two PCBs, power supply, and a pretty big digitizer. Is there, and I have not done that, though I've seen photos of it, Live Big. Is there something you can tell about the PCBs that indicates anything to you? IPS is not super thin like OLED, but it's not, sure, that's fair. But I have plenty of iPads, not this one specifically, that are like 5 millimeters and they don't use OLED, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, here's another example. The MoveInk Pad Pro 14. It's about the thickness of an iPad. So we know, yes, it is OLED, but my point, the MoveInk Pad 11 is not OLED, and it's just the same thickness. So why is it the MoveInk Pad Pro 14 can have a high resolution, thin display that fully supports Pro Pen technology, and their pen displays are much thicker. Why? Mystery for me. Mystery for me. I just don't know. I just don't know. Okay, I think we're good with this tablet. I think we've covered everything I can think of. I'm very happy with it. I gotta tell you, like I said, I was very nervous about this tablet, about the softness of the display potentially being there, which I didn't see. I was nervous about the line wobble because I saw Brad mention it, and I thought, oh, is this gonna be an irritation? But it's about the same level as Cintiq Pro, so I'm happy there. Yeah, a good tablet, and one that I will be using, right? In fact, to be quite honest, because it is bigger than the 19, I do sometimes like to have it's a little bit awkward in this situation because I'm testing tablets when I stream. I kind of want like a standby drawing tablet for when I do whiteboarding with you. This works better for me than the Kamvas Pro 19. Let's see, Live Big says, well, there's actually two different versions of Pro 24K Gen 2. 2021 release has green PCB, pretty small heatsink. 2023 release, I believe, has blue or black PCB, way bigger heatsink. Interesting. Interesting. So they updated it in 2023? Did I miss that? I don't think I realized that. That's good to know, though. Okay, I think I'm done with the stream. Everyone, I want to tell you thank you so much for coming. I love doing these live streams where we test things out and respond to like the questions you have. And this was a fun one. This was a real fun one. It's always fun when like I like the tablet, you know? When I don't like the tablet, the stream is like, you know, I start getting angry at the tablet. But this was a fun one because I did like the tablet. And I'll be writing down my notes. And again, if anyone hasn't been in the Discord, I'm going to paste the link. So please join. We are talking about tablets 24/7. Okay? Thank you, Euchre. Thank you, Euchre. Okay, everyone. Have a great night or day or wherever you're at. And I'll be streaming soon. Okay. Bye.